Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Super excited that you guys are here today. We have some amazing guests, which is very exciting. We have Crystal and Leo from Central Texas Solar, who are going to be talking about some amazing things. So I'm excited about that. Emmett, if you want to kick us off with a couple of updates, I'm happy to hand it over to you.
Yeah, so welcome to our newest edition of our podcast or Surgecast. If you're new, super special, please drop in the chat who you are, where you're from, and we'll get in contact with you directly. We're trying to really multiply the opportunity to drive solar and renewable energy in the commercial space. And we believe that a platform is the way to do it, right? So instead of like 5 big companies, and listen, I was a VP for 3 of them, trying to dominate the solar space, why wouldn't we put 250,000, maybe 500,000 people on here, subscribe to a platform where we can help develop commercial solar together? So that's the point, right? And Ellie, for the people who haven't met you yet, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your inspiration and your aspiration as it relates to that. Today's topic is going to be USDA grants, agriculture, the ability for all of us to play in a really cool place. We're going to make it simple and easy for you. We have super awesome special guests, Leo and Crystal, CEO and Chief Operating Officer of Central Texas Solar, that I'm going to interview. And hopefully at the end of the day, you sign up. If you're not signed up already at Surge, you grow, or you talk to them directly and say, hey, I've got a couple projects for you. Hey, Eric, I see you there. Thank you for joining, buddy. That's Solar Soldier over there. I love this guy. So Allie, inspiration, aspiration. Tell us a little bit more about your take on Surge, and then we're going to dig into the interview.
Awesome. Yeah, quick updates from my side. I know some of you are new, some of you have been here before. We're really excited. Surge is growing very quickly. I definitely want to shout out Leo and Crystal, as well as John Dix, who couldn't be here today. They have just gotten together on an incredible deal. If you are on the newsletter, you'd have already seen this shout out, but they have connected with a vineyard and farm in Texas. And it's a very large project. It's going to be a very big ground mount. They have super high electric bills. They are super excited to do this, which is huge. And I believe, Emmett, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is about a $4 million project, which is going to be really significant for everybody
Yeah,
involved.
it's looking like that, but let's rewind a little bit. I mean, when you think about the one thing, remember we talked about this last week. What's this like the super duper power that Surge drives? I mean, what do you really want all of us to sign into and double down on?
Great question. I would say connection and community, being able to facilitate these relationships and make these connections between people in all different corners of the industry so that ultimately we can install more solar, we can put in EV chargers, we can put in batteries, do backup, we can, get together with roofers and finance partners and just bring multiple parties together from different sectors of the industry to work together to contribute to a common cause, which is ultimately, I think we can all agree, to save the planet. And yes, money's involved. That's great. There's obviously potential to earn massive commissions on these deals because they're of a larger scale, and we can't ignore that. Plus, not to mention the rev share for helping us grow the platform and the community. But for me, what it ultimately comes back to is that community with a central focus, a central momentum around supporting the growth of this industry long term.
Yeah, just from my background, I've been in solar for 20 years. I've helped more than 100,000 people go solar. And yes, Austin, who's on here, beat my you-know-what in all my records. But still, the cool thing is, how do you accelerate that, right? And, one of the ways we did in Resi was Costco and Home Depot, right? One of the ways we're doing it in commercial is signing people up who know people who want to transfer their land into a solar farm, who want to take real estate like a parking lot that doesn't have a carport on it, put a carport on it, or take a vineyard, which Leo and Crystal are going to talk about in a bit, and say, Oh, cash deal, 4 million, no problem. You know, wine tastes better if it's powered by solar. And by
Yeah.
the way, Coors and Anheuser-Busch and everybody else is already doing that for beer. So why not let Leo and Crystal own that for the rest of their freaking life if they want, right? Do you want to be a part of that? That's why you're listening, right? So let's do this, Allie. Let's go ahead and let's ask both Leo and Crystal, if you wouldn't mind, talk about your origination story. Like, Leo, where'd you come from? What's your background? Crystal, you as well. How'd you guys, say we're going to do what we're going to do? What do we need to know about one of our most awesome EPCs on the Surge platform?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Leo Kapici. I'm originally from Turkey. My experiences start with Tennessee and then Hawaii for a little bit, and then start with the Texas, 15 years almost, serving the community. Crystal originally from Texas. That's where we met. We are a blended family. We have 5 kids. We are business partner in the meantime
Five.
and a lifetime total.
What's
Yes.
the
Yes.
split? Boys and girls, what's the split?
So we have
3 boys, 2 girls.
3 boys.
Wow. Okay, I'm 4 girls, 1 boy. So
Oh my goodness, you know, a lot of bodyguard. Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. So yeah.
So originally, Leo comes from, a background in corporate America, basically management training. And I had been in solar for about 7 years when I really saw that the solar industry was very sales driven, and just kind of saw an opportunity to kind of expand more on service and education. And so we partnered together, and as luck would have it, Leo's brother is actually an electrical engineer, and, kind of stars aligned. And we just, in 2019, decided to, build the formation of Central Texas Solar. So we've been here, like you said, for 15 years.
Cool.
And, basically are just here to committed to raising our family, growing our business, and serving our community.
Wow, what a power couple. I am so jealous. That's so cool. That is so cool. Tell us something we don't know about Turkey, Leo. Tell us like a interesting fact.
Well, if you want everything, you know how the people just travel.
I've been there, by the way.
Oh, that's
But
fantastic.
go ahead.
Yeah. All I can describe to Turkey is very small, but it's beautiful, a lot of histories. And the main time to me is I was mentioned, my wife, she's been there 3 times. Like a little bit everything. You want to see the snow, you want to see the seaside, you want to see good food and good experience, and everything is there. But in the meantime,
Wow.
we like to travel. Turkey is, I think, the one of the oldest country. So I don't know if there's anybody visit yet, but
No,
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
would say one of my favorite things about the country is that it's really a bridge between the East and the West.
we are
It's-
center of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody's ever studied the Bible or whatever you believe
Yeah.
in, I
Oh, yeah.
mean, you can't
all
miss
over
Turkey. You just
Very,
can't. It's like it's in every story, right?
I think is in life is we should be, because we are all from the world. So we should
Mhm.
experience it every part of it. So
Yeah.
I love that. Can you tell us a little about how you started the company and some obstacles that you overcame? And then after that, let's talk about 2024 outlook on USDA grants. But if you could just be like regular human beings and talk to us about how you started the company and kind of the tough part about raising the company.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, we started in 2019, and it was right before the pandemic. So it was definitely, it was definitely a struggle, to kind of get through that whole phase. But, a lot of the difficulties that we faced have also been just the negative connotation that is out in the solar industry with, just there was a lot of issues with, contractors maybe not, fulfilling their full term, or, just people not really fully understanding how does it work, what to do, what's out there, incentives and things like that. But we've really built our business on, just serving and educating, and it's been amazing. We've had, growth every single year, and have just really been able to overcome that by just going out there and fully educating as much as we can.
I'm going to share a screen here. I think that's really interesting. And Leah, I'm going to get back to you in a second here. Hopefully I can share this. It's their website, so I'm going to go there right now. Let me know if you can see it, folks.
Yeah, it's up there.
You know, the thing that really rings out to me is local company on a global mission. And I'm thinking about what you just said, Crystal. I'm going to flip it over to Leo in a second.
Yeah.
So you built the company during like one of the worst times, at least I've been around. I've been through 3 recessions myself. Um, wow. Why local? And how does that work in the whole surge ecosystem? And so I'm going to ask you that question, Crystal. I'm gonna ask Leo the next question, and Allie, I want you to weigh in. So go ahead, Crystal.
Yeah. Well, local, just because, I mean, if you want to make a difference anywhere, you start with where you are. And so for us, it was important to, you know, kind of build that around our community. You know, whether it's, you know, residential, commercial, regardless, like where you can make the biggest impact is where you are currently. And so with the overall goal of impacting, you know, global, you know, just the world, the planet in general. I mean, the whole reason why we're in this industry is to make it better, you know, to make it better, to ultimately have a cleaner planet and a sustainable source of energy. So that's really where our mission statement comes from.
It's interesting because I've been a VP for national companies, and I've loved and always believed in local. But I mean, I remember Leo talking at our last demo where he's like, you know, we're only local. I mean, why so local? Why? Like, Leo, let me hand that to you.
Yeah.
Well, just because, you know, like selling, yes, everyone capable and doing it, but giving a service, giving a promises the keep. Like I don't like to promise something that I cannot deliver. So like, for example, a lot of people has solar, and then when it's come to the service, they wait delays, weeks, months. I just want to be there in less than 72 hours and take care of the issue, whatever it is. And like,
Let's go local Texas, right? Okay. Friday Night Lights.
but by the way, you drive 18 hours, you're still in Texas, by the way. So Texas.
I know that. I know that. I know that.
I'm
See,
just
yes, sir. But everybody knows each other, right? So the beauty is if you have billion-dollar buying power through our platform, and again, Allie, you're next, yet you have the I'm your neighbor concept. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Like, I know your kid, I know your kid's kids. I know your great grandfather. I
They
know
know
where you go to
here.
school. Talk to me,
Yeah.
Crystal and Leo.
You-
Talk to us.
Yeah, you build that trust that that trust is there. You're building that relationship. They know you're here. They know you're reliable. They count on you. You know, it's a community is what it is, and you're building that trust. It's so important. It's so important.
And then the local labor and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then we're going to talk about the USDA grants next after Ellie.
Yeah, so you know, we've partnered also with local campuses that are, you know, bringing vocational training and education to up and coming, you know, workers and for the labor market, because there is a lack of that. So, you know, being tap into that and have, you know, interns come in, learn the industry, learn how it works, and then kind of offer that partnership at graduation. It's been great to see how this industry has developed and all is going
Yeah.
into.
So let's pause there, and then Leo, you're next, and then Allie. My perception, having been in the industry for 20 years, is that we don't have enough labor.
Yeah.
like everybody like to sell this amazing tickets, but when it's come to the foundation is the number one, and that's why we like to do it. Educating services, you know, we training center. We want to make sure everybody understood first. And
Training center. Can you talk a little bit more about that, Leo?
so this is actually our training center where we are right now. We just built up this about 6 months ago.
That's cool.
You know, we want to try to license our people to make sure, you know, I mean, every area has, you know, you need to know a little bit about what you do and make sure that, especially for the long term, people sign up for 20-25 years investment. Make sure.
Sorry to cut you off, but I mean, I'm a professor and lecturer at 6 universities, and actually started working with American University this month. And we're going to bring a couple hundred people from Africa to the U.S. because the U.S. does not have skilled labor, engineers. and they're all going to renewable energy. So maybe Leo and Crystal talk about that, and I'll hand it off to Ali for comments, and we'll dig into the USDA stuff. So Leo and Crystal, what are your thoughts about like changing people's lives and like helping people learn as an apprentice, which is how I grew up as an engineer, right? And develop into a trade.
Like building a good culture, like, because this is new. That's why I love the most, because every possibility is right here because it's new to everyone.
And it's such a challenge, to navigate all.
Oh yeah,
you know,
sometimes it's very
it's-
complicated.
Yeah, it's really not as regulated as it should be. So just kind of navigating what we can do, can't, how to, it's a challenge, but it's very interesting, and I think it's great. It's a
And
great.
when you
You,
build a
you two
success-
are so cute. I love it. I mean, come on. Everybody here is like, oh my gosh, what a power couple. Ali, would you like to comment? And let's talk about the technicalities of USDA REAP grants and such like that after. But Ali, back to you.
I love this discussion, and thank you guys so much for sharing this. And I agree completely. It's about trust. It's about relationships. A company is not going to say yes to dropping $4 million in cash if they don't feel that trust, if they don't feel that relationship. And what I love about this industry is it's full of pockets, right? There's these niches. There's the variation amongst utility companies. There's the variation between states, between townships. There's variations based upon the type of business that it is, right? USDA doesn't work for everybody. But then in other places, you've got really great SRECs. So there's all these different unique specializations that are needed in this industry in order to get projects done. And that's the point of Surge, is to bring together the right people in the right places at the right time to get these projects done. So you guys are doing amazing things. And I really appreciate you sharing that and emphasizing the importance of that community and that trust.
Yeah, you two are so cute together, by the way. So let's go ahead and ask you the question. Give us the punchline on USDA grants. And if I have the right screen share here, I'm going to tee you up before you guys, lecture us. But there's a lot of money in this.
Yeah, 145 million.
If you're looking at 145 million
Yeah.
just in one act. I mean, it's more than that.
Yeah.
But what is it? How do you get it? Do you need
so it's really
do you need hold on 1 second. Do you need somebody who knows how to write a grant? I mean, do you bring that to the table? How's the scoring criteria? How do you do that, right? The other thing is, okay, why agriculture? Well, geez Louise. I mean, and Al, I'm going to ask you to jump in here before Leo and Crystal take it all over, is we all need energy. We all need batteries because the grid sucks. It wasn't built for solar.
And getting worse.
For oil and coal, right? And we all need to eat. We all need to eat, right? So, like, these are the basic principles of humanity. And there's a ton of money behind it. So why wouldn't an ethical business manager like me, or Ali, or Leo, and Crystal, and James, and everybody that's on here today go, I want a piece of that, right? So the question is why and how? Farmers? Community solar? I mean, selling a couple 100 acres so that they could do a land grant? Goats? Let me do some ground mounts and put some agriculture, behind it. I'm going to stop there for now, so that Ali, you can weigh in, and then Leo and Crystal, you take off after Ali hands it off to you. You gotta teach us. All right. So Ali, your thoughts, and then hand it over.
Yeah, I feel this is going to be a very key part of 2024 and beyond, right? With the new funding that's coming into play and the amount of money that's available for this market sector. And I'm curious, as Emmett has just proposed a question to you guys, how you actually go about taking advantage of that. Because a lot of people on the call here today, a lot of people listening to the podcast, they're going to want to know, how do I make this a part of my business? And you guys obviously have. So that level of actionable takeaways is what I'd love to hear from you guys. How do we actually take advantage of the money that's out there for agricultural businesses to switch to solar, which again, as Emmett said, fundamental, right? We all need energy, we all need food. So how are these two things going to come together for us in 2024 and beyond? And how do you guys plan to be a part of it?
Yeah, so I will definitely say that, the outlook obviously for 2024 is so much greater than it's ever been because of all of these incentives and financing opportunities. But really, there's so much that it can cover. I mean, it's even sometimes even up to 90% of your total cost. Like it's crazy. It's crazy not to consider, these, but obviously it's for agriculture. But you can couple that 50% just from the REAP program with, local rebates, that 30% tax credit, even depreciation and a multitude of, incentives. But really it's having a strong partnership with a grant writing consultant is really, we don't do the grant writing ourselves, but we partner with a consultant that can do that. And they're
Priscilla,
100%.
could you pause for a second? Because I think people are digesting this for the first time.
Yeah.
Tell us about the grant writing process a little bit.
Yeah, so it's a lot that goes into it. I mean, obviously there's so much, for eligibility purposes and everything, but it's all, you're submitting basically, or the business works directly with the grant writers. And so they're submitting all of their business documentation, balance sheets, statements, kind of their business plan, just all the financials have to be submitted, and then your entire project gets reviewed, and that's where they determine, the amount that you'll be receiving. But it is quite a lengthy process, and so there's a lot of laws and regulations involved, and so it's not really something that.
So if I'm the customer and I'm trying to understand how it works, okay, great. I got you. 20, 30 minutes and I get you. But they don't know how to write the grant. But you and your company have the ability to submit that for them, right?
Mhm. Yeah, we definitely
What's the success rate look like on that for you?
It's very high. I believe it's something like 80%,
What?
gets approved. Yeah, it's
Pretty good.
very high because there's not enough people applying for it.
And a lot of people
Whoa,
doesn't.
whoa, wait, Leo, jump in. There's not enough people applying for it because why, Leo?
Because
they
there's
don't know.
such a huge budget. There's such a huge budget.
A
And
lot of people don't know. Sometimes like just kind of like you need to go get it. You know what I mean? So
you need to go dig and find it. Yeah.
yeah.
What?
So
Whoa, pause. I know you guys are like 1,000 miles per hour right now, but some of the podcasts are really learning, many for the first time about this, right? And you're going to inspire people to work with you because they just don't know, right? I mean, look at the screen right now. I mean, look at the opportunity. I mean, how much is in grants there? Right. And, we're not going to dwell too much on one opportunity because, this is a most recent one, but you've got the ITC, you got USDA grant, and you've got state credits. Could one or both of you just kind of break that down? And then I'm going to ask Ellie to interject before we go through the next questions.
Yeah, so the ITC is basically that 30% that was extended back in, I believe,
2032.
Back in 2022, we extended it, President extended it. So that's just, a tax credit based on the gross system cost, but also included that Rural Energy for America program, which is the grant free money. You don't have to pay it back. It's free money that's, helping offset those.
So, okay, slow down. So a grant, you don't have to pay back. Wait a second. For the people who don't know, slow down, please, Crystal. I know you're super smart, but not all of us are as smart as you. Walk us back through that. A grant, you do not have to pay back. Why? How?
No. Yeah, I mean, it's there to offset your installation costs. It's an incentive to go solar. For all the small businesses in rural America. It's the USDA, came up with that budget and said, here you go, come apply for it. It's free money for you to take.
Well, I don't know if it's free because I pay taxes.
Well,
I'm like
it's
in
free
the
to the
27% range.
free to the receiver.
Yeah. IRS is probably listening to this podcast, but whatever. I mean, so you're already paying into it. So what's the punchline, right? Get it back, right?
Yeah, we're investing back into our communities, that really need it. The farmers who are struggling and, they have super high education, electrical costs, energy costs. And so this is, helping them offset that and, just
Uh-huh.
come with bigger, better business.
I think in the morning when I wake up, I kind of do solar, but for the most part, I wake up to do God's mission, right? And how cool is it that you can help a farmer?
Yeah.
And you think about it, like the highest level, maybe potentially for some people on this call. And it's like, okay, who keeps this world running? Engineers, infrastructure, food, energy. Can you maybe share a little bit of a project you're especially fond of that you've done in that sector, or maybe you're working on?
Yeah. I would say one of our favorite projects, it's in education, but we did a school, or we're in the process of doing panels for a school.
Wow.
And, really because it combines, it's not just to offset their energy, but it's also sort of an art installation. So they're using the panels and there's art on the panels. So not only is it there to offset their energy, but it's also an art exhibition. It's beautiful.
It's
And
not going to be on the roof, it's going to be on the wall and
yeah,
more educate to the students.
yeah. So it's
You
a
are so cute. Wait, slow down. I'm trying to catch up, so I know everybody else is. So tell us about what the outcome is, and then walk us through the project.
So it's really meant for just for education purposes, for as a talking point. It's in the parent car line. So when parents drive by, they're going to see these lit up panels that are beautiful.
Alice smiling. Look, you got her smiling. That's good. Keep going.
Yeah, it's an amazing project that we're super proud to be a part of. It's not the first art solar installation in San Antonio. We also have another one that's a big, beautiful monarch butterfly, but this is in a school zone. It's in a school zone in the car line. So it's just bringing that,
Preparing everybody.
beauty to sustainable energy and really helping, expand what it means to really invest in this type of energy. So it means a lot
Wow.
to us. We're really excited for it.
Leo, come on. Put a cherry on top of that.
No, it's just the bottom line, like 2024, especially for the commercial, because safety and security, they want because without those commercial, we cannot run daily basis, and grid is already proved they're not capable to handle that. Electric vehicles are on the, few years, it's gonna probably like 30-40%, and then 10 years, probably like 80-90%. So how are we gonna keep up with that? So the future is here already. I always people say future. No, future is right now. So we are living.
I love that. Yeah,
but we want to live a good
so
to our kids. So
Yeah.
So Ali, jump in, and yes, give us after Ali talks, if you don't mind, Ali, hand it off to both Leo and Crystal about the technicalities of how the grant works. Is that cool, Ali?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
I love this conversation. This is so cool. And I know a couple people in the audience really love that story. And I think what's interesting about this is we're going back to basics. You guys are talking about the fundamentals of human society, right? Agriculture, schools, having little kids grow up, seeing solar panels on their school. The power of that, the multiplication effect of that, the impact of that for our future as humanity is massive. We need more projects like that. It's making it fun. It's making it accessible. There are literally people out there who still say that solar panels are ugly. I don't want solar panels on my roof because they're ugly. I can't personally relate to that at all. But the fact that you were able to make it truly beautiful and turn it into an art installation in a place where creativity is meant to be encouraged, and that reverence of nature and of the power of nature and humanity, being able to live on this planet sustainably, right? That should be promoted in a school. So I'm blown away. Thank you for sharing that story. That was really, really cool.
It is no B plan. We have one world to live, so it is no second one. They didn't build yet. So
Man, I'm so pumped up meeting people like you. I'm so blessed. All right, so technically, I'm going to hand over the mic to you for about 5 minutes. Walk us through the technicalities of a USDA grant. Talk us through how people on this call and podcast might want to work with you on certain developments. It's all yours.
Is for us to answer?
Yeah, it's all yours. You got 5-10 minutes if you want.
Okay.
What I'm asking is, would you share, one, who qualifies, two, what's the process look like, how they could work with you? Because eventually, you know, there are people on this podcast that are going to go, hey, Crystal and Leo, I want to work with you, right?
Yeah.
So if you could walk us through that, that'd be terrific.
Yeah, well, that's why we're on the search platform because
Okay,
that's
go
where
ahead.
you can find us. Yeah. So, you know, projects that would qualify for the REAP grant have to be, you know, rural agricultural projects or, you know, small businesses in rural areas. There's a map that, you know, you can go to and see exactly if your zip code qualifies. But if you have a potential project, let's see it through the search platform. Let's work together. You know, we're here locally, Central Texas Solar. We service all of Central Texas. So we'd love to help out. Yeah.
Good. As a follow-up, what does it take? Who are the like targets? Is it dairy farms, which I've done a bunch? Is it vineyards? Who are the targets? That's number one. So follow up on that if you don't mind. And number two, what does it take to actually apply for the grants, and what's the size of the grant, if you don't mind?
Yeah, the size of the grant really depends on the cost of the project. But it's any agriculture. I mean, it can be you're growing berries, dairy, anything that qualifies as agriculture would qualify. Or if you're in a small, if you have a small business in a rural area. So the process is, you submit all your financials, and then we kind of go through the eligibility process, of course, first. And once we, verify that you're eligible, then we just start submitting everything in the grant writing process. Just,
Okay. So thousands of people on our podcast, right? We got a great little core group here of 10 people, and they're going to weigh in here after we stop recording, right, Allie? So who? Is it dairy farms? Is it vineyards? Is it breweries, microbreweries? Like, where do we look? Where do you want the leads? Leo and Crystal.
Where do we get the leads?
Where do you want the leads? We'll bring you the leads. Like,
Yeah.
Where can we bring you the leads from?
Some of the farmers.
Yeah, I mean, farmers, any small business that's in those areas, in those zip codes that qualify. I mean, we can target those maps and all of, location-based businesses and start from there.
Is there a resource for that? Is there maybe the potential to look at Central Texas, the area you cover? Maybe we put together a heat map, so to speak, a map of like, here's these areas that
share the links.
Yeah, so there is a map where you can just input, you'll see all the coverage area, and then you input your zip code and it'll tell you, do you qualify? Yes, you do. It's very simple. It's very simple.
See,
it's all laid out for you. It's not like
we don't have any problems with leads. We just need to understand where you want them and how you want them, right? And that's the beauty of the platform, right, Allie?
Right, exactly. And I'm thinking, I mean, as long as it's in the right zip code, it could be your local coffee shop, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, for me personally, I had a lead in town, a project in town a few years ago, actually, and somebody on this call, if he's still here, Greg and I chatted about that when they ended up going with a local company because they felt they couldn't face themselves if they saw him in the grocery store every day, and didn't, work with them. But they are a bread making company. They source grain, they sell grain, and they're basically e-commerce, but they're based here locally, and they qualified for the USDA grant. So I think that the parameters on this might be a little bit more broad than people may think. And I think that's what Emmett's trying to get at is, could it literally be, an e-commerce company that happens to be operating in an agricultural area?
Right.
Could it be the local coffee shop that's in a qualifying zip code? Could it be a store that has a huge flat roof? And again, they're just in an agricultural part of their state.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's not going to be an issue with lead generation. Us getting this content out to the team is huge, and you're probably going to get a bunch of opportunities as a result, which is awesome for all of us. What kind of work does it take? I've written grants before. What kind of work does it take to get the grants written and submitted?
It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but really, you want to tailor it to each individual business, but at the end of the day, it's, everyone is applying for the same grant. So it's not impossible, I mean, it's something that is a part of the process. And it's a little timely, but it's worth it. It's so worth it.
And Crystal, what kind of work do you do? Do you do 60% of the work, 70, 80%? Like, walk us through, like, pretend nobody knows anything about this. Like,
Yeah.
you and I have done this before, right? But
Yeah.
walk them through like what it takes to do that.
Yeah, so really partnering with a team that really knows all about, grant writing, who specialize in the grant writing process. So that's key because they'll be able to, they stay up on all the regulations and what's required. And yeah, and they basically do it for you, so it's the best way to go because there's a lot that goes into it and you don't want to make a mistake. So, just having that really strong partnership and just, providing all the information that's necessary.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So last couple of questions before we go to overtime and office hours. Say something nice about John Dix, Pastor John Dix.
We so appreciate John. Our partnership with him, started really when we built a partnership with Power, and that's kind of how we met him. But he's just been such an amazing player for us. I feel like he introduced us to you and the Surge platform, and we've done a lot of work with him as well. And he's just amazing. He's such a great motivation.
Very much feel like we are in the library and a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of passion and what we doing, and we like to work people like has the same heart. So
yeah,
he's a pretty cool dude. I mean, I'm Catholic, you guys are Orthodox, whatever. He's Protestant, and we're fine.
Yeah, he definitely heart for sure.
How to partner with you? Can you put that information in the chat, or Ali? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, our website is centraltexas.solar. We're also on the Surge platform here local in San Antonio. So come by our office.
That's cool. Ali, you're going to put that in the newsletter and everything else, right?
Yep. Yeah, we'll highlight you guys in the
Okay,
newsletter.
so last but not least, before we get to office hours and overtime, favorite movie, scene, or quote. So I'm going to start with Crystal, then Leo, then Ali, then me. And then Ali, we go to overtime. So Crystal, favorite movie, scene, or quote.
My favorite movie is As Good as It Gets. I'm just a sucker for Diane Keaton. I am. There's no specific quote, but that movie is just, I can watch it over and over. It's my fave.
That's great. I can't wait to hear Leo's response. Leo?
Mine is The Godfather. I'm going to make him an offer he cannot refuse.
Ali?
Oh man, that contrast was incredible. Thank you.
It was very, very good. Unexpected, unscripted.
Nice. Yeah, I think, oh man, this is so tough because my partner's such a movie buff. We watch everything. I will have to say though, since I was a kid, probably You've Got Mail. Classic rom-com, got Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. It's just the cuteness at the end is perfect. So that was my favorite one.
Ali, you're such an old soul. I'm going John Wick 4 with my mom sitting in the theater with 2 martinis. All right. So Ali, let's close this up. Let's get off of the mic and do office hours. And Leo and Crystal, God bless and thank you for your contributions. I hope we can grow together. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Okay, Ali, it's all yours.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, this is amazing. Really appreciate you being here. Super excited about the Surgecast. This was really powerful information and hopefully really inspirational to everybody here, everybody listening after the fact. There's so much potential in agriculture So don't overlook it. Get in touch with Crystal and Leo, get on the Surge platform, connect with them, work with them, go out and talk to your local coffee shop. There's nothing stopping you. We have a lot of people on Surge right now who are literally boots on the ground, walking into businesses, walking into nonprofits, walking into their local church or their local senior home and saying, hey, can I get a bill? They walk out of there with the bill, right? The potential is everywhere. So don't sleep on this, keep it going. Next week, we have an amazing Surgecast coming up all about lead generation this year. So what's different about lead gen? What's working? What isn't working? What channels are working for who? So what is the difference between, say, running ads on Facebook versus cold calling businesses one after the other? And our special guest is going to be Gene Warren. He's absolutely incredible, has tons of experience in this industry, and he's going to be doing lead gen for Surge. So that's really exciting. We're super happy to have him. So looking forward to next week.